Okay, so before I get started into this video, I really didn't think I'd ever have to say this, but for those that don't bring their critical thinking skills, this is not a recap of the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, probably stop this and go and see the movie because it's not a recap. Leads me into secondly, there are no timestamps because this is just a conversation. Again, for those without critical thinking skills, we're just talking about the movie. This is not a review or a recap. So my son, who is 17 years old, surprised me with tickets to go and see the movie Sinners. I'm basically bedridden temporarily right now. He thought that it would make me feel better, and it totally did. So here we are. I wasn't expecting to do a video on this movie, but I'm doing a video on this movie. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, don't go see it with your kids. Neither one of us did any research on the movie at all, one bit whatsoever. All we knew was it's got Michael B. Jordan in it. It was directed by Ryan Coogler, and it's got vampires in it. That's all. That's all we knew. There's sex scenes, and that made both of us very uncomfortable. So we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. But although I didn't talk about it with my son, and I know he's gonna be watching this, I'm just gonna skate around it, okay? There's a scene in where the vampires first came, okay? When the vampires first showed up, right? Up at the juke joint. If you would notice, they showed up not no. Yeah. They had showed up whenever Sammy was performing an act on a married woman. We just gonna say that, okay? We just gonna say that. You know the scene that I'm talking about. So I don't know. I just wanted to point out that it's not just, yes, the vampires did come out and they saw the roof is on fire. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn motherfucker. They came and they saw that. And my son goes into it a little bit later on in the video, but when Sammy was performing that act, I don't know, it just kind of solidified that evil was coming for him. There's a reason why that act was being done when the vampires was coming around. We'll just say it that way, okay? There's a reason why he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, and the vampires came. Okay, we just gonna leave it at that. Last but not least, the video cuts off right as I was about to make a point. Somebody called me and I had to take that phone call. And then after that phone call, it was hard to get back. I didn't want to get back into the moment. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, okay, phone call's done, over with. I'm gonna talk to my child. Like, fuck the camera. I'm gonna talk to my child because you need to understand this, okay? So no, we didn't cut the camera back on. No, we didn't try to fake it or anything like that. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. That's where the video ends, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my point that I was trying to get across right now at the beginning. We were talking about takeaways. And right after the film, you know, walking out of the theater, we were talking about takeaways. And he was like, well, what's your takeaway from the movie? And I was like, I said in a roundabout kind of way, careful of the company you keep. That's what I should have said, but that's not what I had said. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I said. Well, I'm not gonna go ahead and tell you what I said. You can deduce what the fuck I said. Okay? You can deduce. What I meant by that was the chick. Ooh, what is her name? I'm gonna fuck up her name. Hold up. Okay. Mary, okay? There is a term for somebody like Mary's character, okay? It's a derogatory term, but it's the onlyest term that I know of to describe a person with this particular genetic makeup, okay? That word, I'm gonna put it right here because I'm not gonna get in no trouble, okay? That's the word. Okay. And basically what that means is one of your great grandparents, right? One of your great grandparents was black. Okay. They call octo because it goes 8. Do you get it? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's another word. It's called this. That's a bad word. Y'all not supposed to say that. That's for when somebody grandparent is black, right? So, and then the rest of the family is some sort of white, okay? There's plenty of different types of whites, but that's what that means, okay? So somebody, I don't know any other word. I'm sorry, I don't. But the character, and sorry, I'm going to go ahead. I have to say this real quick. Haley Steinfeld, that a name. That's the actress's name. She actually plays, y'all remember in Marvel, who she played in this show? Okay, I didn't know the little girl had anything else in her. So my son was the one that pointed her out. He was like, wait a minute. And I was like, no, it ain't. He was like, yeah, it is. I was like, oh, snap, it is. And then I noticed that people were talking about her playing this character. And, I kind of felt a little bit of a way, like, kind of like, wait a minute. But actually, for real, Haley Steinfeld, her granddaddy was half black and half Filipino. Did y'all know that? So she kind of is playing. Anyways, the point that I was trying to make with my son is be careful of the company that you keep. You notice that Mary was the onlyest one that was trying to go after, they didn't know they were vampires, but she was the onlyest one trying to go after the Irishmen to see if they were good people, to see if they would spend their money there. Well, let me go ahead and I'll go see. Everybody else is like, girl, you do not have to do that. Okay, first of all, we fine, we good, we're chill. Like, yeah, okay, wood nickels and whatnot, but it is what it is. We're here. Second of all, you gonna fuck up the vibe. Why are you trying to? No, you are going to fuck up the vibe, ma'am. Why are you trying to bring everybody to a motherfucking cookout? We're having fun. You're going to fuck up the vibe. Okay? Although Mary did not purposefully set out to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go and turn into a vampire. Ma'am, the thing about it is this. White women, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. White women are blissfully unaware of how their actions can create bigger problems for other people. That's all I'm trying to say. Just be careful of the company that you keep. That's it. Here go the video. Enjoy, like and subscribe or whatever. What did you think about it?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good at portraying a lot of things that back then would have been common for us that it isn't common now. A lot of things flowed naturally. Also, along with the way that they handled the vampires, I felt like it was a lot more interesting than a lot of recent adaptations of vampires. They've been kind of awkward in my opinion personally. Well, what I took from it at face value is essentially how they conveyed the spirit of not just music, but black culture and how engraved it is inside of music. Now, it's not just black culture, because remember that there was that one Asian lady dancing, and how involved it is in not only just black culture, but just everyone else.
Right, but she wasn't just Asian, she was Chinese. And the Chinese play a really big role in the South, and they... This is definitely a off-camera conversation because, I speak to you very bluntly, and on my channel, I don't necessarily speak as bluntly. But she wasn't just Asian, she was Chinese. On my side of the family, there's Chinese somewhere. We thought that it was Native American, and it wasn't. It was Chinese, and we're like, well, how did the Chinese get? Well, that's how the Chinese been in Mississippi. The dude with the mask. Do you remember seeing the dude with the mask with the straw coming out, and he had straw in his hands and his feet, and he was doing the... Yeah. That's a very, very, very... I think that's from the Yoruba culture, and I think that has something to do with one of the 7 gods, either Shango or Obatala or Olarun. They have their own sects of gods, right? And even before coming to America, and still to this day, those people, they still honor in that same way through music. Music is so... And then, and we were laughing in the theater whenever the white folks came and they were trying to get in, and they were like, listen, we can sing.
Nah, because whenever they started doing that, I knew they were doing... the directors had to have been doing some, like... intentional, because the way that they were simultaneously,
it was choreographed.
Yes, it had.
And I think that was a brilliant touch.
It definitely was, because we see how they are technically a hive mind. Like, they still have their memories, and they still have and possess an individual
autonomy.
Yeah, just like personality. They're different, but they're still technically the same.
They're tethered. They're tethered.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, but even and
like every knot in a rope ain't the same, but they're so connected. Bam, like that. Okay. Continue.
Okay, Mr. Preacher. Okay. So, but yeah, the music can be really, really strong in all types of cultures, but it's really strong within us because, I mean,
heavily tethered to our
our history.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, out of slavery came Jim Crow, out of Jim Crow came the blues, out of the blues came country, out of country came this, out of this came that. I mean, we still talk to each other like that to this day. You know, back on plantations, there would be the Negro spirituals, right? Half of them songs was secretly telling other people, hey, you go down north and you're gonna get this and you're gonna get that, but before you do that, you gotta go down that plantation, then you turn to left, and then you turn to right, and then you get down low, cause the dog gonna come at night, like type shit. You know what I mean? I'm so serious. You trying to escape, they're gonna be singing the songs every Thursday to let you know which way to go. You know what I'm saying? And they have to be real slick about it too, because a lot of the niggas in the house, they were not out in the field. They weren't hearing about it, but some of them did, and then they run back and go and tell and stuff like that. See, you still gotta keep it like really, really coded. But then, do you remember? Okay, so the whole reason why they came, they said that they wanted Sammy because they heard his music. No, they were going to kill him anyways. They were going to kill everybody anyways, but they heard Sammy music. And they said, we want you. We want to turn you. Why? If you look at the whole thing, like in its entirety, hey, oh shit, yeah. But the main thing that I wanted to get across, the fact that you got this group of black folks minding their own beautiful black business,
and then the white people come in and they start to colonize. They come in, they try to find they wanted Sammy's music because they said, oh, we like that music, we want to take that and we want to make that as part of our own. Just how they took black people from Africa, and they said, oh, we like you, we like your work, we're gonna take you guys, we're gonna put you guys over here. So that's what they was trying to say, because because the music is deeply rooted on our past, it's also an analogy for our past and our future. And it shows how people gonna come over here and steal shit. Language, sorry, language. People gonna come over here and steal stuff. I'm sorry. That's it.
You be cussing.
No.
Cause yes you do, cause that came out so smooth. You be cussing.
No. That was an accident. That was an accident.
That was not an accident.
That was an accident. I didn't.
No, what? Hell, nosy?
What?
Anyway, turn back around and looked over here like she knew me or something. I don't know you, lady.
Mama, calm down.
You got something to say?
Ma.
Oh, shit. I thought I was going to have to explain something to you, but I didn't have to explain it to you.
No, all you have to do.
You got it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole premise of like, remember when they were saying like, hey, we was gonna come over here and kill you anyway, but now we can live in peace, we can live in harmony. What did you feel about that?
The white folks wanted to come over to get them to join them, and I think that white people or the white vampires going around and trying to get them to be a part of them. We also saw that the white vampires were more the vampires in general were more associated with white culture, and whenever we saw those people get turned into vampires, they also got heavily integrated into white culture as well. I think that was an analogy for assimilation, just like how they did the Native Americans. Put them in because we're not gonna look down like that. Native Americans were taken, put inside of schools, and they learned to dress like white people. Mm-hmm. They taught like white people, and they were forced to learn English and could only talk English for so long and for so much that they learned their own. They lost their own language. Yeah, that was the thing. I learned that in school. I saw a video. A man, grown man. It was so sad. He was crying, and he said, "I lost my language. I can't speak to them no more. I can't speak to them like the way that I used to."
And that's the same.
Heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking. It's also heartbreaking to know that they did the same thing with our culture, what we had before, and with our religion. Now that is a huge thing. Now I know you go to church, you're a Christian, and I'm not trying to change nothing about nothing, okay? You keep doing that because church does teach you certain things that other places you're not going to learn other places. However, to come to somebody else's land, strip them of everything that makes them them, and then try to make them assimilate into what you have brought over. That's a messed up thing. It's the same thing with us. Even after they brought us over here, stripped of us of our language, stripped us of our culture, of our identity, of our names. Even after all of that, after slavery, less than 2% of the black population were allowed to become Christians. Did you know that? So, and the fact that, you know, it was because only a handful of black folks knew how to read. And they only knew how to read because they were allowed to preach from this very distorted Bible. They don't make that Bible anymore, but they were only allowed to preach from that Bible, a Bible that pretty much says niggas supposed to be in the field and happy. That's what the Bible said. So, you know, which is why I have such a hard time with Christianity, because it's like, why on earth would I want to believe in something that was brought over to me by my kidnappers? Like, what the that don't even make no sense. I'm probably gonna cut all of that out. How did you feel about the ending of the movie when Sammy just would not let that guitar go? How did you feel about that?
I'm glad he didn't let it go. Well, kind of. What I did see was that he did take the music over the religion. He took the music over everything else, and we did see that it still drew the vampires to him.
Mm-hmm. It's what made them want to get him. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's the thing that he loved to do. You can't tell me to put down the one thing that calls my soul.
Mm-hmm.
You
yeah.
know?
I'm not gonna say I hated it. I liked it. I liked the fact that they took that, and the fact that he was able to grow and live his life happy. Mm-hmm. Because well,
he wasn't happy. He was the man clearly had post-traumatic stress disorder, waking up at least once a week in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he definitely had
But yeah, he lived a long life and all. I see what you're saying. But actually, this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to ask you about. So when the twins, they died, one, his soul was released and he was able to be with that gal and his family, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other one, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. And so he's stuck roaming around here on earth with a white girl. So how did that make you feel? Like, what? I'm sorry, was I not supposed to say that?
No.
Well, how did that make you feel though? Because it's like, you know, you got the one brother that's got the family, he's waiting on his twin. And his twin knows that he's waiting. He's like, nah, I ain't going.
I think Humble was scared for was waiting for him.
Ooh.
Get mad at me. He's scared for what's waiting for him. He knows the amount of people he's killed.
Because some people would rather die than to assimilate into the vampire culture.
Oh, yeah. Some people
would rather die
some people
like
would
smoke.
Yeah, or another way of interpreting it is some people would go through more to get away from peace. Some people would go through more to get away from peace, even though through both ways could come hardships. What I'm trying, let me elaborate. So, what's his name? It was Stack and Smoke. Mm-hmm. Smoke died, and he died happy. He got rid of the racists. He got
not just racist, Klansmen,
yeah.
Big difference.
And he also got rid of he got rid of a lot of vampires, a lot of them. And he got to go home. He got to go home with his woman, with his kid, and he's happy now. What's his name? Stacked. Yeah. He don't want to go, and I think he don't want to go because
He's scared of the afterlife.
He's scared of the afterlife. He's scared of what could happen to him. Because, let's be honest, to kill a vampire, you gotta be brutal with it. Already that's painful. But also, you gotta remember, anything that's not made by God is unholy and isn't gonna be going to heaven. You think a vampire is going to heaven?
Oh, so he knows that he's not gonna be able to go with his.
Vampires ain't going to heaven because you think God put that down here? No. That's unholy.
That was the last time he would ever for real see his brother. In this lifetime or any lifetime. That's crazy sad.
Ain't gonna be no more lifetimes. He's staying alive, suffering, hiding every single day because he can't see the sun no more. He can't go outside no more.
Okay.
Why would he sit down and, oh yeah, I'm gonna let it happen, and then all of a sudden he's in hell? So that's what I saw, but
okay,
the directors might have saw something else. That's how I interpreted it, and everybody has their own ways of interpretation.
Takeaways. What did you learn from this movie? One thing that you learned from this movie.
Protect your culture and fight for it.
Yeah. And
I'm not saying that.
Say it.
I'm not saying that.
And
I'm not saying that.
Say it.
I'm not saying that.
Say
That's
it.
blatantly racist at this point. I'm not saying it. I'm gonna be honest.
How?
With you.
And where's hold up. No, because where is the lie, son? Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
Because that's making a generalization of one person or of all and multiple people from a few experiences.
She didn't mean to.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're still making a generalization off of all white women because of one thing.
Yeah, so just like his mama, my son's mouth can get real reckless. So yeah, I took all of that out. You're not gonna hear what he said. Okay,
I can say that right here, right now.
Pause. Time out. You can't say that.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. Because number one, and I'm reckless too. Majority of white women. You talked. Let me. The majority of white women. Damn it! This is. That little boy look like you. No, that scared the hell out of me.
No, he don't. No, he don't. No, he don't.
Anyway. Thank you. You too. Okay, so if you look at it.
That's all. He just likes skin. He just likes skin. Do you not see how built that dude is?
You're kind of built.
This is a toothpick.
A toothpick? Knucklehead. Peanut britches. Look at my arm. That's not no tooth and picks.
That is a tooth.
That ain't no tooth and picks. Anyway.
Yeah.